1, 2. Let's just do this, okay? What's up, guys? It's your girl Victoria. I'm back with another episode of the VL60 podcast, and I am joined by my friend Ashlie. Hey. So we're just gonna be doing a little girl chat today. How you doing, Ashlie?
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm making it.
Just okay?
Yeah. That's life. That's life, though. Things ebb and flow. Everything ain't gonna always be great. So
True.
Yeah,
I agree. And yes, I'm okay as well. I don't know if I would say I'm great, but I'm not bad. Like, there's nothing, like, bad happening in my life. And I have to take time to acknowledge that. You know, I've been doing this, like, kind of social media break / I don't know if it's really a break, because I really didn't delete the app or nothing like that. Like, I just turned off my notifications. Remember I told you? Mm-hmm. Which I should have did a long time ago, because I didn't know the piece.
Yeah, I've done it a few years ago.
It's the thing is like I never had that issue with social media where I feel like this is in my way. Hold on. I never had that issue with social media where I felt like okay, it just didn't start to affect me until this year. Mm-hmm. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe a few years ago, but it really started to affect me this year. Like, I noticed, I felt like my mental health literally, I felt it declining because of social media. Particularly Instagram, a little bit of Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook like that. And LinkedIn.
Interesting. LinkedIn.
Because I felt like LinkedIn, I don't know, I feel like I always get this sense of, so what it started to make me feel was like inadequate. I started having anxious feelings. I started having feelings of like I wasn't enough, like I wasn't doing enough. But then it also would make me confused about what I wanted to do. So like I would have in my head like, oh, I want to do, podcasting, and oh, I'm going to do this for my podcast, and I'm going to start a YouTube channel or whatever. But then I would see something online that would either discourage me from doing it, or it'd be like planting a new seed, like, oh, maybe you should try this. And then it just made me feel like scatterbrained and all over the place and just bad about myself.
It's funny you say that, because recently I've seen a couple of posts from people like writing books, launching businesses, etc., from things that I had ideas of doing like years ago. And then I'm hard on myself, like I could have did that, So I totally get it, but...
And it's not even like you hating on the people. Yeah. I'm genuinely happy for the people who I see winning, because that's another thing. Everybody who posts stuff on social media ain't really winning. It's just whatever. But nevertheless, whatever, small wins, big wins, I'm happy for those people. But then there's something in me that's like, why isn't that you? Or you could have did that.
Yeah. I think just for me personally, just seeing that, I know that one of my flaws is not fully always executing or following through. So sometimes you just have to kind of take that and be like, okay, this is a lesson. I need to go harder. But also not to be hard on yourself, because we can always grow. So it's a growth thing. Say, okay, I know that I cannot follow through and I can kind of get a little lazy or whatever, but that can motivate you. So you can be happy for that person, but also motivate you to be like, you know what, this is going to push me, because I know that I had this idea 2 years ago and I'm letting life distract, because I know me, I let life distract me. But you can take all that focus that you have on other things, that I know that you do, and put that on those businesses, those ideas, your podcast, etc.
Yeah, and but that, the thing is, it's easier said than done.
It is,
because for me, it's never been a thing of. Well, I think I've always struggled with like self-esteem in a little bit of a way. Maybe even since I was young, I struggled with that. But I don't think it's been as exasperated as it has been over the past few years. I don't know if it has to do with my age. I don't know if it has to do with just where I am. I don't really know. But I feel like social media has added to that, because I just see people doing the things, again, like you said, that either you wanted to do years ago, and you're like, in my head, I'm like, well, they already doing it. Even though there's a million people doing the same thing.
Right.
It's like, why can't you do it? But then it's also just like, in a way, I look at what they're doing and I'm like, wow, like it's great. Will mine measure up? You know what I mean? And I don't like that feeling.
Listen, I hate to say this. I've been noticing, like, I've ordered a couple of, like, books and journals that people, things that I've had ideas doing on a different scale, right? And I may have ordered the item, and it was not mind-blowing. But guess what? They did it. They finished it.
You're right. You're right.
So, like, I literally saw someone that had a journal with, like, the title page, and then everything was empty. But guess what? It was their journal. They published it. So I think because I'm the same way, perfectionist, you want things to be a perfect product. But some of these products I'm seeing, first of all, nothing's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But these products that I'm seeing aren't what I thought they were. And so I get them. So just get it out there. And then if it's not what you want, guess what? You can do something else after that. Or you can have another volume or whatever the project may be. But I think the biggest thing is just accomplishing
to do it.
Just like with your journals. Like, you did it.
I did it. And you know what? It's not even, I'm proud of my journal. I will say that. I am proud of it. I'm proud of that I did it, that I published it, that I put it out there. And sometimes I even forget that I did it. Like, it's just one of those things like, and it makes me wonder.
It's so funny you say that because I remember telling Kyle, my boyfriend, several months ago, how you motivated me. Like how I had been wanting to do something and I knew I got lazy and I don't follow through. And I was like, man, my friend motivated me. I'm gonna ask her for advice, blah, blah, blah. So it's just funny, you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm being so genuine. Like,
I believe you.
You don't know.
Oh, I like that. I'm glad that I motivated somebody.
Yeah. So like, wow. And I mean, I'm sure you motivated a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So like, wow. And I know I've had people tell me the same things about myself and just things I do in life where I'm like, what? Like, I feel like I'm barely making it. But
girl,
you're forgetting about his accomplishments when other people are praising them and wanting to get to that level. So that's just going back to that gratitude that you have to keep staying in that place. Even when you're like, oh, I don't feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. I'm not completing the projects I want to. You have to just go back to say, look at where you are right now. And there was a time that you wanted to be there and you weren't. Like, I do this all the time. Because some days I'm like, what the hell? But I have to be like, look at me. I'm healthy. I'm happy. You know, I have this beautiful apartment. I live in this great area. I have amazing friends, you know? And you may not have always had that.
Yeah. And you know, I was thinking that today because I was like, you know, I'm not in a bad place. And I say this all the time. I'm not in a bad place. And so I don't know where this mindset came from. And I think, again, this is the whole social media thing where it's like, we're doing a hell of a lot better than a lot of people in small ways. And it's not even to say my life is so great, so that I'm better than this person and that person. I'm not. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at like just being able to take care of ourselves, living in a place that we want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Like some people live in cities that they don't want to be in, but they're stuck. You know, or working a job that we're semi-successful at and working in an industry, both of us, that we make decent money. It's not like we're destitute, right? But I think there's that piece of us that overly ambitious piece of us that does cause us to, it's a good thing because it causes you to like go after things. Like, again, writing the book, I didn't even, like years ago, I didn't set out to write a book. That wasn't on my agenda, you know what I mean? But it was just like, okay, I have these thoughts, I want to write them down, I want to help somebody. I'm glad that I did it. Now, if I go to do it again, I'm like, okay, what can I do better? How can I make it better? You know, how can I, you know, market this a better, or what would be the next volume? That ambition is good that we have that ambition, but at the same time, it's that mindset of like the competition. And I've never been a competitive person. So for me, that's what social media was doing. It was like exasperating the competition. And making me feel, and it was making me feel like, instead of me being like, oh, I'm going to do it better, it was like, you ain't doing that, girl. Your little, you know.
And that's the thing, like, majority of the time on social media, people are not doing as well as they claim. So you just have to remember that, like.
What you said was true, though. There are a lot of people who sometimes I will look at their product and think like, oh, wow, this is really great. Even like some of these gurus who like teach classes, workshops, this and the third, I'll attend or I'll see like the end products and be like, I could have done this.
It's nothing mind-blowing. No. It's super surface level information. They're really not subject matter experts, but they did it. and they're getting paid, whatever, if they're making the money they claim they're making, because everybody's 6-figure earner, right? Like, but everybody says that, but whatever. But end of the day, the biggest thing is that they did it. Now, is it the most mind-blowing product? Usually not. So that should be enough motivation to say at least you did it, and that's an accomplishment to be proud of. So
yeah, that for sure. I've noticed the peace that I've had since, like, I didn't like deactivate my social media because I wanted to be in control of it. Like, I didn't want it to be where it's like, okay, well, it's not on your phone no more, that's why you haven't been on. No, I wanted to be able to say I will control how much of this I'm on and how I let it affect me. The turning off the notifications thing was a godsend. I'm like, this is so peaceful. My mind is clear when I wake up. But then I even notice, like, when I get on there, even if I'm on there just like reposting something or posting, a little silly skit or something stupid like that, I'll catch myself scrolling. And it's like, in the beginning, I'm okay. But after like a minute, I just get this feeling, and it's just like, I gotta get off of here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's so many feelings. And yes, LinkedIn is one of them. And I think it's because LinkedIn, because we're professionals, it's like, there are even things that I want to do professionally that I'm like for instance, I wanted to go back to school and get my doctorate. And I've been like, I said a long time ago that I was done with school. Like, once I got my master's, I was like, I ain't going back to school. I don't care about that. And that's really genuinely how I feel. Like, I really don't care about getting a doctorate. But for whatever reason, I started feeling like I need to go back to school. I need to get my PsyD. And it's like, girl, you got enough student loan debt.
Right.
You got enough. And what is this? And I really had to ask
myself. Are you really going to make more money?
Am I going to make more? Well, probably. A little bit. But not enough to matter.
Not
enough to matter.
Be more in debt from student loans.
And it's like, what do you want that for? Because everybody on your timeline on LinkedIn is doctor this, that, and doctor that. It's like, do you want it for the accolades? Do you want it to teach? Like, because I could. What am I going to do besides, publish more things? But I'm a published author, and I'm not a doctor. I had to really question myself about why I all of a sudden want that as an accomplishment, because it's not even a real goal for me. Like I said, when I got my master's, I said I was done, and I meant that.
And that's good that you have like that. I don't know if it's discernment, but you're able to catch yourself, and before you do things, say, why am I doing it? I think that everyone should do that, because a lot of people don't. That's why people have they're masters or whatever. Was it masters at nothing?
Okay, so that phrase, I know what you're saying, jack of all trades and master of none, but that's actually the real slogan of that was not meant to be an insult. It was actually meant,
I know.
Right, yeah, right. But you're right.
Yeah, but it's nowadays.
Yes,
it is like it's the negative side of it, right?
Right.
People will start things, and just because it's popular, or I'm going to do this project, I'm starting this type of business because it's popular, but that might not be their calling, might not be their passion, their skill, and then you don't do well and you go to the next thing, and then it's a cycle. So I think just really, if you stop yourself and say, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for popularity? Am I doing this because everyone else is because it's big, because everyone's an influencer, whatever the case may be? And I'm just an example as an influencer. Is that what's going to make you happy, or are you doing it because everyone else is doing it? So I think that was good that you were able to look at LinkedIn and say, do I want my doctorate? Because I've been through the same thing when it came to getting a doctorate. And I'm like, unless somebody's paying for it, I'm not doing it.
That's what my friend said. He was like, if at this point, if you got to pay to make yourself a doctor, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. I
mean, that's relative or subjective, if you would. Because some people, have to pay to become a doctor. But the point is like, they should be offered, like, if that should be something that's offered to you, which I agree with. And it did check me. It was like, I had to ask myself, like, girl, do you really want to go back to school? Number one. Do you want to be stressed out about writing papers and dissertations and all that? No, I don't. Right. Do you want to get in more debt? No, I don't. So it's just not, it's like, that's not, it would be great. It would be a great accomplishment, but it's not even my desire, and that's another thing I felt like was happening to me on social media, was I was being influenced by everybody else's seemingly great decisions and their lives and the things that were happening for them. And then I'm smart enough to know, though, that everything ain't glitter ain't gold. I'm smart enough to even know, like, even some of the most popular people, like, the mess that their lives are. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, we were talking about that, like how there are some people who are just, who seemingly have it all. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, talented, traveling, you know, around great people, and still do stuff that is like low vibrational. Like, still do stuff that, like, you be like, when you find out, you be like,
yeah. Wow. But you would know from their Instagram page. They're popping on Instagram. Yeah, and I mean, I'm happy at this point in life that I don't want that. Like, I want to be. If you meet me, you're gonna say, like, I'm an open book. I'm the person that I have to pick myself to be online. Mm-hmm. I don't ever try to make myself or anything I'm doing more than what it is. You can assume what you want, but it's not gonna be based off of what you see that I present.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that that's the people who actually get to know me. People have said that to me before. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what? You're actually like who you present yourself to be online. And I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's a mess. Sometimes I'm stupid, sometimes I'm silly, sometimes I'm profound. You know, that's who I am, and that's all I know how to be. And I think that's what makes me sometimes shy away from it too. Like, even this whole YouTube thing, like, I didn't do YouTube for a long time because I was like, oh, it needs to look a certain way, it needs to be a certain way. But it's just like, in a way, I was inspired by social media to just do it, just put your content out there, and so that's what I'm doing. But at the same time, it was like, I don't have to have this, like, fake ass setup and studio and everything to make something look more appealing than it is. And even, like, some people who have a beautiful set, beautiful podcast, beautiful YouTube, they don't be talking about nothing.
Thank you.
They don't be talking about nothing.
Like, the aesthetics.
It's gorgeous. That's what draws you in.
But it don't mean nothing. Don't get me started. People will spend hours and days on end getting things to look perfect, and it's crap. Like, it's crap.
You putting sugar on shit.
Yeah, like, no.
You're calling it chocolate frosting.
Chocolate.
For real.
I wasn't ready.
I'm for real though.
But yeah.
But I do have so much more peace. It's so weird. It's like I said, I'll go on there and, you know, I'm not like, oh, I'm anti-IG or whatever. I'm not that extreme. But I am just noticing the peace that I have by not putting so much emphasis or effort into what everybody else is doing. Because and the moment that I get on there and start to feel those feelings, I have to, excuse me, girl, I'm sorry, I had Chipotle. The moment I do get on there and I'm like, I have to stop myself because I'm like, oh, stop. The comparison is so real. And it's the devil. Because I be thinking like, I mean, it just be the most random, wild thoughts. And I just be having to bind the devil. Like, you are a liar and the truth ain't in you. Just the most random thoughts. Like, look at her. Ooh, that's why she gonna do this and you ain't. And it's like, who is talking right now?
Right.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Well, at least again, you are able to understand. You understand that about yourself, and because a lot of people can't, and then they go down that slippery slope. And I mean, the world is hurting right now. Like, everyone is going through this year. I feel like it's been tough for a lot of people. So. Yeah. It's good that you are able to be self-aware and say, hey, this is affecting me, my mental health. Yeah. And you're stopping it. Because some people don't have that. They aren't able to put up those boundaries, right? And then it can get worse. So it's good. I mean, like, a couple of times a year, I usually do, like, a break at least for, like, a week or two. So I feel like I might need to have one coming, like, probably January, maybe for the new year or something. And it's great. I remember I took a break for like 4 months at one point when I was studying for a certification, and I focused, you know. I took all the time I spent on IG, I took those 3 hours a day or whatever, and I allotted it and put it towards studying. So I just think I'm all for it. You know, I'll be the one. Yeah. I'll be texting y'all like, I'm on a break, so if you need me, like, text me. True. And I'll be peaceful. Like,
yeah. And it is focus. It is like, I can really focus on just what did it need, like what I want to do. And I feel like, you know, it's useful for some things because there is some information and there is some like postings and stuff that sometimes that'll be inspirational for me or just informational, like, oh, I didn't know that, let me look that up, you know. And that is what it's useful for. And then, you know, again, sometimes I just go in there because I just want to post my thoughts and, you know.
Yeah, see what's going on.
And,
yeah. You know, it is what it is.
But it really, it's like I used to have FOMO. I used to be like, oh, I want to see what's happening in this person's life. And it's like, you ain't missing nothing.
Yeah.
You ain't missing nothing.
No, you're not.
Whole bunch of lies and
exactly. A whole bunch of fronting and faking. That's all you miss. And it's about to be a holiday, so you really about to...
Oh, God.
Hard pass.
I wanted to be one of them fronting and fakings, you know, with matching pajamas with somebody for Christmas, but I don't know if that's going to be
happening. I was in Target this morning and I almost bought some, and I was like, no, because of that reason. Like, why would I buy us matching pajamas just to post it on Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, if I really was like, oh, this is something that we would enjoy, then I would do it. But it's something I would enjoy, not him. I'm not going to force him to do that just so I can put it on Instagram. So that's the reason I didn't do it.
That's true. And you know what? One time I bought matching pajamas for this guy I was dating, and I didn't even post them on Instagram ever. So I don't even know why I did that. Wow.
You did it for a genuine reason.
I did it for a genuine reason. You're right. You're right. It was for a genuine reason.
You yourself.
I did. Because I'm too real for these niggas.
Too real.
I'm too real for these Instagram streets. We had matching PJs and y'all don't even know who he is and never will because we don't even never talk no more and never will. And it was just one of them things, you know. It was just like, hey, I want us to do this, and we did it, and then nobody ever knew but us.
That's how life should be.
You know,
I mean, I'm all for it. It's okay to post your partner. I know
yeah.
But also, when you do it, what are you... Again, question yourself. What am I doing this for?
What am I doing this for?
Am I doing it because I want to make my life seem like it's one way? Am I doing it because I want to brag? Am I doing... Like, what are you doing it for? Me, I post my man because I be in my feelings. Like, oh...
Yeah.
And that's what I do. You know? And that's my best friend. But, like, it's genuine. It's not...
Yeah. It's
trying to make anyone feel any way.
Right.
You know?
And that's the thing. That's what I appreciate is that it is genuine. I'm saying that because I know you and Kai, so it's like, okay, yeah, I know that that's a real relationship. There's some people who be posting people and it be like 3 months later, dude is gone, but like, I thought y'all was in love.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't post who I'm dating unless it's a solid, long-term, committed relationship. Very few people know who I'm dealing with or who I date, but that's for a reason. And even when I was married, I didn't do that. Yeah. I could probably count the amount of posts that I've like posted my ex-husband, and because that just wasn't our thing. Like I just wasn't. People knew I was married, you know, but then there were some people who didn't know, and then there were some people who didn't even know we got a divorce. So like after a while, it was like because I just don't post my relationship stuff like that. Yeah. So like after a while, I think I may have made a post about being single or something like that, and people were like, wait, what? Wait, what happened?
The floodgates open. There's them DMs.
They were, but then also like it was just like some people were like, I didn't even know you were married, you know, because it's like, you know,
that's fine,
and it is fine. So yeah, but you're right, and I feel so much better about this whole social media thing. So there are a lot of things that I still want to do, and I'm still going to do them, but I'm going to do them my way. I'm not going to let what I see other people doing impact me or affect me or discourage me, because that is what was happening. It was stopping me from... It's like, I've just never been the type of person to be like I know I'm a great catch. I know I'm smart. I know I'm pretty. I know I'm ambitious. You know I have a lot of talents and all that. But I don't see me the way some people see me. You know what I mean?
I think that's natural.
That is yeah. And it's like, and that, because I'm not a hater, I see people and I'm automatically praising them and putting them on a pedestal. Like, wow, this girl's amazing, or this person's amazing, or this guy, look what they did. And I do that even though I do have good discernment, I do that even if I don't know the person, even though sometimes I can see through the stuff. I'll be like, I just ain't picking up the right spirit. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just it's a matter of self-esteem and not me thinking that I'm horrible, but also just realizing what I do have to offer, you know? And that's what I want to use social media for. I want to use social media for me offering genuinely the gifts and talents that I have to offer, not because I'm trying to compete or compare.
Yeah, makes sense. So do that, and don't and no one else exists.
Yeah, true.
Just look at other people's pages for motivation or to cheer people on.
Yeah, and that's what I do. That's what I do when I can't, and when I get to the point where I can't cheer, because that's what got scary for me. It was a moment I can't tell you exactly, but I felt a spirit of jealousy come over me towards someone that I genuinely love and like admire. Mm-hmm. It was just a spirit of jealousy, like, why is this person always winning at the things that I want to win at? And I didn't like that. I had to rebuke that demon out of myself because I didn't like that feeling. And I said, this is not who I am. I'm not a hater. And I don't want that kind of negative vibe. I don't want that karma on me either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to attract that because, and I don't want to get opportunities based on like envy or competition. Like, I didn't want that. So that's when I knew. I was like, something's got to give.
Well, again, like, I'm proud of you for just like, again, using that, just like catching yourself. Because a lot of people aren't self-aware and aren't able to be like, okay, let me focus. Mm-hmm. I'm not in a good space, or this is not who I am. What can I do to change it? Let me pull back. So again, like, I think it's great. I think that, we're all hard on ourselves. I challenge you the rest of the year. Think about what you have done.
Ooh, okay.
Like, don't think about what you haven't done or what you want to do. Focus on what you've done, what you've accomplished. That's it. Okay. Don't think about what you want in the future, because we only had a little over a month left in the year. Yeah. Don't spend the rest of the year reflecting on what you didn't do, what you want to do next year. Focus on what you've accomplished, period. Doesn't have to be just this year. Okay?
Thank you, Ashlie. You're my counselor. I ain't got to pay for therapy this month. Like, Ashlie, what should I do this month? What kind of things do you have? Do you have any plans? Anything you?
I don't know. I'm like a normal person who can give great advice and trying to figure when it comes to yourself. Trying to figure out. I'm in a space right now that I have plans, but I also accepted that God has plans. So I just sometimes feel like I be riding the wave of life. And I
think that's what we are right now. We're both riding this wave of life. And it's at almost like a turning point. I feel like we've discussed this before. We're kind of both in this like transitional phase where it's like transitioning to the next phase of life, whatever that is going to look like. And I think that the challenge in that for me is that I'm so used to planning and being like, okay, I'm gonna do this next, do this next, do this. And I before didn't have all the outside influence, so it was easier for me to plan, and then those plans come to fruition. But now it's like I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
I've learned that this year, and I think maybe for you too, this is my season of surrender.
Girl,
you gotta let go, because we're both planners. We both like to have.
I pulled that angel card the other day.
See?
I pulled that last week. We're both twice. Surrender.
Yeah, like we're not, I wouldn't say we're control freaks, but we are to an extent, right? You just like to have some type of order over your life.
Yes.
But that's a type of being in control. Because I had to come to this conclusion and accept it myself. Like, dang, I like to have control. So I think that just surrendering, because when you have these expectations and all these strict plans and want things to go, you're setting yourselves up to be disappointed. End of the day, God has the plan for you. It may not look as pretty as you thought it was going to be. Preach! So you just gotta, that's where I'm at. I have my moments. I'm not perfect. Every day I'm not thinking or feeling like this, but I'm gonna have a bad day or a bad hour, but I'm gonna just be like, okay, I know this is a part of the plan. I know I just gotta let go. I know that there's not much I can do, because you can keep fighting. It don't matter. Like, what's supposed to happen is going to happen. So just be, I'm saying, just be obedient, be surrender. And continue living how you live. You're a genuine person. You're a go-getter. You work hard. Continue to be those things, but don't be so hard on yourself, because at the end of the day, the plan is already made.
And that's that.